The Democratic chairwoman of the Senate Intelligence Committee tonight rejected a New York Times investigation into the Benghazi terrorist attack that found no al-Qaeda link. Senator Dianne Feinstein saying, quote, "I believe that groups loosely associated with al-Qaeda were involved in the attack, and now, because of newly declassified documents, we've learned it was our first guest who helped lead the interrogation of the head of AFRICOM, uncovering the fact that our nation's top civilian and uniformed defense officials knew it was a terrorist attack from minutes after the consulate was under assault." Joining us tonight is Congressman Brad Wenstrup, a member of the House Armed Services and Veterans Affairs Committee, an Iraq War veteran, Army Reserve officer, and good to have you with us, Congressman.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Let's begin. What I'd like to do is share with our audience at the same time a moment of an exchange between you and General Ham, and I'd like to begin, if we may, with that full screen, which is the dialogue that I'm referring to. Congressman Wenstrup began by asking Carter Ham, then the head of AFRICOM, "I'm concerned," you said, "that someone in the military would be advising that this was a demonstration. I would hope that our military leadership would be advising this was a terrorist attack." General Ham, "I think the command very quickly got to the point that this was not a demonstration. This was a terrorist attack." Wenstrup, "And you would have advised as such if asked. Would that be correct?" Ham, "With General Dempsey and Secretary Panetta, that is the nature of the conversation we had. Yes, sir." And with that, straightforwardly, the General Ham and your questioning of him produced an absolute refutation of everything the New York Times reported, and puts in play centrally the question why the Obama administration, the president himself, appears before the General Assembly carrying the same bunk that it was some idiot video that led to the attack in Benghazi and was not a terrorist attack. By the way, he has the convenience of similarly and simultaneously saying that he had said it was a terrorist attack. What do you make of it, Congressman?
Well, going to the last thing you just spoke on, as I recall, what he said was, "We will fight terrorism." He never said that this was a terrorist attack in the days after the event. You know, you go back to September 11 in 2011 when this occurred. I was just a candidate. I had won a primary. I was getting ready for a general election. But I sat there, and as a military person, served in Iraq, was stationed at a base that was attacked 2 or 3 times a week. We also had demonstrations going on outside. You quickly learn the difference, and most people in the military, especially those that have served, can understand the difference. And so when I watched that video, and then I heard what they were calling it, that bothered me from the get-go, obviously for a long time. I'm not on the Oversight Committee, but I attended those particular hearings with General Ham and Colonel Bristol. Specifically, I wanted to get to those questions because I thought that would be the most revealing. I was concerned that someone in our military could actually look at that and call that a demonstration as opposed to an orchestrated, organized terrorist attack. And as we come to find out, as I have found out through those hearings, no one in the military ever called that a demonstration.
And leaving aside even the issue of the mortar strike against the annex, and at least 2 rounds we know, likely 3 from that mortar attack were dead on. That is not the stuff of I think any reasonable person would agree that is not the performance of a group of demonstrators upset about a video. That is a well-trained unit at work.
So the question comes in then, who was in the room and had the conversation that said, we are going to tell the American people that this was a demonstration? That's what we really need to get to the bottom of right now.
Do you think we will?
Well, I think we're going to continue to pursue that. It depends on who we can get to come and testify. You know, as you mentioned in this and in that testimony, you know, Mr. Panetta was one of the people calling this an attack. I would have to assume he had some access to the administration and their decision-making process on what they were going to report about this particular event.
You know, Leon Panetta is regarded by Republicans as well as Democrats as a man of integrity and a man with considerable respect in Washington. He has he has been very careful in some of his answers, and at the same time intimated, at least as I listened to him, that there's far more involved here. Do you think it would be possible to get that he would be forthcoming on who was in the room?
I would hope so. I think he's somebody that I would like to talk to. And look, this isn't about politics. This is about the protection of the American people that serve this country. This is about doing the right thing. And this is about truth and honesty with the American people from a high level. And that is really what we want to engage. And I would hope that in his twilight years that he would want to come forward and be forthright with the American people.
You know, Congressman, I agree with everything you say, but I also believe that one of the purposes of the investigation has to be making this thing right, and that means holding people accountable. Because
it does make a difference. Someone said it doesn't. What difference does it make? It does make a difference. It makes a difference, again, to those that serve and to the families that were victims in this event.
And that person, I think, is going to be hearing those words for a very long period of time. Congressman, we appreciate you being with us. Congressman Brad Wenstrup.
My pleasure, as always. Thank you.
Up next, expected President